Welcome to Transmission Gone Viral, Part 2, the C to 9 of COVID-19. Let's be honest, you're all thinking, tell me, is there a treatment for people who become ill with a virus? Simple answer, no, there isn't one. It takes time to develop effective treatments and find out what works for each type of virus. However, we have an incredible army of antibodies within us already, a highly evolved protective system, our immune system, which has developed through human and mammal evolution over millions of years. There is in fact evidence to show that we have a gene called CGIN1, which shows signs of virus interference dating back to 120 to 180 million years ago. Well, what does that mean? Well, it probably means that 180 million years ago, a nasty virus swept the Earth, infecting living organisms until they developed some form of immunity. From that point, those mammals who were immune carried the scars of the virus in their DNA, scars which we still have today. Make no mistake, viruses, although sometimes deadly, are beautiful. These extremely small, symmetrical terrorists are transmitted from host to host and only replicate themselves in living hosts. Viruses, unlike bacteria, have no cell wall. They are small particles of either DNA or RNA that are surrounded by a protein coat, which in many viruses is useless. We won't mention norovirus, as that is very different and a far more stubborn story. However, coronaviruses have a lipid or fat coat with prominent protein spikes. Imagine that on a catwalk. But unfortunately for this virus, the thin coat offers little protective cover and is about as useful as a paper coat in a monsoon when outside of a host cell. With virtually no protection from the outside world, they can only replicate inside a host cell where it can thrive. Think about it as a moon landing. The rocket is the virus and the moon is the cell. As soon as the rocket lands on the moon, it starts to mine into the moon's crust, much like a virus burrows into the cell wall. When the rocket is fully submerged in the moon, the astronauts inside are then free to emerge, causing havoc, multiplying and feeding on the moon's resources until nothing of the moon is left, and all the new astronauts and rockets pop off, looking for more moons to infiltrate and plunder. Before 2020, when most people heard the word virus, they would think of disease-causing pathogenic viruses such as the common cold, influenza, chickenpox, human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, HPV, measles, mumps, rubella and many others. However, now, when we hear virus, we think of SARS-CoV-2 or the coronavirus, or even the disease, COVID-19. Goodness, don't we scientists like our complicated names? In truth, it is still early days. The research, understanding and knowledge of what COVID-19 is and the effect that it will have on the world's population for years to come are little known. But we love a challenge, so here goes. The A to Z of COVID-19, or should that be the C to 9 of COVID-19. When looking at COVID-19, we have to understand its relationship with the coronavirus family. Coronaviruses are a large family of viruses that are known to cause illness, ranging from the common cold to more severe diseases, such as Middle East Respiratory Syndrome and Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, SARS. Essentially, coronavirus are a family of viruses that attack the respiratory system. COVID-19 stands for CO, corona, vi, virus, D, disease, discovered in 2019. So what does corona mean? Well, If you look at these viruses with an electron microscope, they appear to be surrounded by a shiny halo, or corona, made of spike proteins, which, as we will see later, are very important. So the pronunciation should be COVID-19, and certainly not COV-ID-19, but that's just a personal pet peeve. Inside each of your 30 trillion cells, there is around 2 meters of DNA. Your own specific DNA. The DNA your parents combined to create you, in a totally unique and unrepeatable sequence of DNA. No matter how many siblings you may have, the one and only you. And that's not just today or tomorrow or for the rest of your life. You are the only you to exist, and the only you that will ever exist. Feel special? Good. Now, it's here in the DNA where we will find a lot of answers, but also questions. Our DNA is stored in the cells of our body. The ladder formation of our DNA that we are so familiar with gives our cells instructions to make RNA and proteins, a well-oiled machine. Now imagine a virus infiltrates the cell and brings with it its own DNA or RNA. Soon, the cell gets taken over and controlled by the virus, forced into creating more virus DNA and virus RNA. For example, the coronavirus genome is made of RNA. In the cell's last moment of existence, it sends out a signal to the body's immune system, the good guys. They have to come and sort it all out and defeat the virus. This is very common, and we, as humans, deal with it every day without even knowing about it. In the next episode of Transmission Gone Viral, we'll look at how the coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, and the disease, COVID-19, evolved. If you can't wait, head over to Highly Sprung's website, www.highlysprungperformance.co.uk, to stream all of the episodes of Transmission Gone Viral. Alternatively, follow @Highly Sprung on all social media platforms for more Gone Viral updates. Transmission Gone Viral is a collaboration between Highly Sprung, Coventry University, and the University of Warwick.